Welcome all to the Weekly Outlook. We're in here from EWPRO. This week I'm going to start off with a little bit different. I'm going to show you my live trades on the USD Swiss franc. This is a live account. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see the live up there when this video's been put together and cut out, but by all means send me a message if you don't believe this is a real account. As a 15-year trader, I don't have time to be messing around with demo accounts. But anyway, so I want to show you this, how you add to your positions instead of scalping, and why you'll get a lot more pips maximizing your profit if you're doing your trading this way rather than scalping like the marketers show you to scalp. For example, over here I got into a trade over here and I got into another one over here for this whole move here. There was a marketer that does Forex videos on YouTube all the time saying that you won't live through this. So that's why I put this video out back in, it would have been around July or August actually, when I put it out, because I showed my trades in one of my weekly outlooks. These two trades here. I got taken out of these and I got into this one here. I've got this flat here, or like I call it a complex correction. We got 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I call it a 3, 3, 5. Doesn't matter if you're looking at it as a running a flat or a complex correction, as long as you know it's a bullish correction. You can get into these trades. If you followed me for a while, you would have known that I just looked for an A, B, C, and I was looking for an A, B, C here with this trade here. That's at break even. And it turned into a correction. I ended up getting like 3 down in here. So I got another entry here. Didn't come down, hit my stop, and just slowly come up like this. And then sharp move down during the news. And then a sharp spike up, and I got a second entry as this flat here, getting into this wave 3. So this trade here is the wave 3 for the H4, and these two here are the wave 3 for the H1. When you're adding to your position, you're maximizing your profits. That's what I'm trying to get to. If you're scalping, so you got onto this one and you got out, and then you may have missed this one. So if you're scalping, you're not getting nowhere near as many pips as what you are if you're following the trend, trading the waves, and adding to your position instead of taking all your position off. This one here, I haven't taken any of this trade off here yet. These two here, I've taken half the profit off. Well, I actually got out in this retracement here, close to the top there. These 3 trades here, when price is up around here, is around 1,000 pips in like 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks. If you can do that scalping, well, I'd be very surprised, you know. And this is just on one pair. And this is how I teach in my group how to trade. Exactly, this is exactly how I teach in my group how to trade. So if you aren't maximizing your profits and you want to learn how to trade correctly, adding to your positions, trading for the long term, by all means join the group. And this is USD Swiss franc. So for the buys, every buy I'm getting swap as well as the pips, maximizing your profit. So now this one here I got in on Friday. This one I did have my stop down here. This kept on going through the news, and this ended up being a break-even trade. But I wanted to take the screenshot of this with this trade on. I actually got into a trade right down the bottom here on the M1 time frame, and a minute before the news, price spiked down, taking out my stop at break even, and then shot up for the news. It's not ideal, but that's trading. I got taken out before the news. 1 minute before the news, it spiked down, taking out my stop, and then the news come out and it shot up. So I got into another entry. And like I said, this did go up, and then it come back down. I took a break-even trade on this. It doesn't really matter that this didn't go. I'll still be looking for this next week as an expanding flat. And then I'll be looking for the larger correction. This trade here, if I had still kept this, it was just a scalp up to the 161.8. And then I'll be looking for an X2 on the H4, and then I'll be looking to add trades in here for that wave 5. So again, this is what I teach you how to trade correctly instead of scalping, losing your money scalping. More than likely, if you're scalping, you're losing money. If you're following these marketers that pretend to be traders, you're going to lose money. It's as simple as that. And that's why I wanted to show you my live trades, how I trade. You know, you can see all my entries here. So yeah, now I'll get onto the weekly outlook. But again, if you want to learn how to do this, by all means, join the group. There's something in my course for everyone, even the most experienced trader. Like I said, I've been trading for 15 years, so there isn't much that I haven't seen when it comes to trading. Starting with the DXY now, there's two scenarios on the daily. We either get a correction in here to go up and break the top, and this is 1, 2, 3 here, and we go up and break the top, or we get a sell set up here and we get a larger C down for the A, B, C. So we're really on the we're in a waiting game at the moment to see what we get here on the lower time frames. I am still looking at this as an A, B, C as a possible bearish running expanding flat for a C down. I definitely can't rule that out at this stage. H4, we get in all the bearish divergence. There really isn't much on the H4 at this stage. We're looking for that, excuse me, A, B, C up to the 100 fib. It's got up to the 100 fib. It went up to the 123.6. So now on the H4, there's really two scenarios here as well. This can be motive as a like WX, Y, get an X2 and a Z up, or it's just an A, B, C, and it falls over from here, breaking the low for that wave C on the daily. There really isn't much on this time frame other than that. The H1 is where it gets quite tricky. We lost the bearish divergence between the two tops, and we don't have a ball hidden. So this is really it's risky because we don't have a lower low, and I can't really go into it much more than that. But you know, this can be an A, B, C here, and we go up and break the top as some sort of a flat as an A, B, C, or a complex correction, whichever way you want to look at it. Maybe a running flat for another one up. So really, you know, we got to see what happens in here Monday, Tuesday, see if this is correct. If this is corrective, well, we can look for a sell. If this gives us a buy setup, well, then you could look for a buy. Yeah, that's pretty much it. It's really risky either way. I'm trading either way on that. Oh, I've got my count on here. just remove this. So AU, nothing's really changed. I'm looking for that A, B, C. We still can come down to this 100 pip, and we can even go and break that low. Even if we break this low on the daily chart, I'm still looking for that wave C up. That'll be the larger impulse, so I want to trade in that direction. On the H4, it is still quite choppy. On the H4, we got the 5 down. We got this like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 down, and then we got this A, B, and I'm looking for a C up here, up to this 100 pip before we either fall over or this does take off. That's why it's important to get into this buy in here. I'm on this one as well. From Friday, I'm in a buy on this somewhere around here somewhere. For this 5 up in here, it might be just 3. We get an A, B, C up to this 100 pip, or it turns motive. It's important to get into these trades when you're at the low, because you don't know. Sometimes they do take off, and this is the actual low, and then we get that wave C up on the daily. So yeah, if you're not in the trade now, you could probably wait for a correction. You'd want to wait for a really nice correction in here just for a scalp. You know, probably first targeting that 100 pip, and then see if you get a bounce off of that, whether you take the rest off or not. It's really going to depend on what happens in here on Monday, Tuesday, because this can be already complete as an A, B, C, and then come down and break the low. So yeah, it's always good to get in on the first position, and like I said, I got in around here. It's at break even. So yeah, EU, nothing's much changed on the daily on this either. We're starting to get down to this 161.8 as an A, B, C. I'm looking for that C up. So I'm only want to trade in that direction on the lower time frames. Here we have a possible bear hidden, so we will have to be careful here. On the EU, we do have a bear hidden between here. I didn't get into this one. I took the AU instead, and I missed the GU because I was looking at the AU. But we got like an A, B, C in here as a running or expanding flat. It may have come down and breaking that low for an expanding flat, and then we get like a WX, Y. I can't really go into this too much because this is what I really teach in my group. But this can come down and break this low again. There is no bear hidden, but this still can come down and break that low because of the price action. Like on the AU, this can be like an A, B, C. So you will have to be careful. But again, you know, if you get a bullish setup in here Monday, Tuesday, you could give it a go, keeping tight stops. Because like I said, this can come down and break the low. For the sells, I wouldn't be even looking for sells. I mean, you can scalp sells like marketers do, but at these lows, I am only looking for buys. You know, I'm looking for this larger C up. GU is a little bit more difficult because here we already have an A, B, C. With the bearish divergence, we have a nice impulse down. Well, this is motive on the lower time frames, motive wave down. So really, we've got to wait for that motive structure on the lower time frame to play out. Now I've got all these. I should have went over my charts before I did this, but yeah, these are all trades from the week. So on the H4, I should have it labeled. So we're getting a motive structure down, a possible motive structure down. We got this like WX, we're in this wave Y, we'll be waiting for an X2, and then you can look for that Z down. Or you could scalp in here, you know. But if you're buying at this stage on the GU, you're really buying into a correction. So, you know, we've already just about hit that 38.2. It may come up to this 50 fib in some sort of a correction. We're looking for a correction similar size to this over here before we get that Z down. On the H1, you can see here I've already, I was looking for a flat, and this is still definitely possible as a B, C, and then we come down, break the low in this wave Y. So yeah, again, they're all very similar. They've all got this very similar structure as this, well, running or expanding flat here as an A, B, C. So again, if you get a bullish setup, you can take it, but you have to be very careful and keep a tight stop, because this can be a flat and come down, break the low. NU on the daily, nothing's changed on the daily. We're just looking for that A, B, C. This one may turn like this may turn like a WX, Y, X2, and a Z down in here as well. This is very choppy down the bottom here, so I definitely can't rule out a more complex correction in before we get that C up. This is extremely choppy. Unfortunately, this didn't come down and break the low. I was looking for an A, B, C. Come down, break the low. It didn't come down and break that low. So we're not getting an impulse from a low. So you really have to be careful, because all this is more than likely corrective for more downside. It doesn't mean you don't want to get on to the buys, because we are at a low. You still want to try and take the buys, but get them to break even, because, you know, this may take off at any time for that daily wave C up. You just don't know when these are going to take off. Sometimes they don't break the low and all sorts of stuff. So it's always best to get in if you can, if it gives you a setup. If it doesn't give you a setup, you just stay out of it. This is very difficult now. I would be staying out of this pair at this stage, because this wave here didn't go down, break the low. You know, this can be corrective in here and we get another one down. So yeah, you have to be really careful with this particular pair. GY on the daily. You can see what I've been looking at this for a very long time, and I've been saying, you know, like, this is very bullish in here still. We're looking at that WX, extended wave Y, X2, and then the Z up. Got this WXY in the extended wave. This can be a flat, like I've mentioned, and more than likely it is, as a similar size correction to this over here, and we could go up and get that wave Z up. We do have a bull hidden here, so, you know, more than likely this will go up and break the top. Is there a trade set up on it? There is a trade set up on it. You'd be looking at next week, looking for a retracement in here on Monday, Tuesday on the lower time frames, and looking for the buy. If you get a nice buy set up in here, you definitely could look to go and break that top. you definitely want to be at break even at the break of that top, because like I showed, we're in an extended wave, and this is the wave Z. So, it may just come up, break this top, and then fall over for the larger X2 or wave 4, whichever way you look at it. And H1 is pretty much very similar. You'd be waiting for a correction in here, and then looking for a buy setup to buy. This hasn't quite broken this top here. Ideally, it does come and break that top, taking out the possible bear hidden before you get the correction to buy. But yeah. UI on the daily. So we're looking for this C down. Remove some of this stuff. Just looking for that C down. But it's been very stubborn. We had this big sharp move down in here, whether it was fat fingers, market manipulation, whatever. A lot of people have all these sort of theories what it is, but I just look at the price action and the MACD. We got bearish divergence all through here. It's only a matter of time before this falls over, and gives us at least a correction, a 50 fib retrace of this. On the daily, we do have that bearish divergence still. So, we go to get either a larger correction here, or it falls over for that larger wave C down. So again, I'm only looking for sells, and here, really, you can only sell this. You can only sell this. You can only sell this. There is a bear hidden here, so you'd be looking for a sell setup. I don't think there's a sell setup on it just yet. We have like 1, 2, 3 up. So if you get a nice impulse down, a correction, you definitely could sell for an A, B, C. It may turn motive on you and give you 5 down. So like I showed on my Swissy trades, this is how you get into these wave Ys when you're in at the end of the market. So if you do get a sell set up, you could definitely look for it. For the buy, I wouldn't be buying. You may get a buy set up in here to go and break the top. I mean, this is what marketers do. They buy this sort of stuff, and more than likely you'll just get burnt. You'll get a buy set up in here, and it'll just break that top and then fall over on you. So you have to be very careful. If you are looking to scalp the buys, you got to keep very tight stops. Yeah. The CAD, this is really difficult. I mean, we got the correction similar size in X2 as we have in X1. This has been very painful. I'm looking for those targets at 123.6 and the 161.8 as your first and second target. This is very confusing because there is that one, there's always been this correction in here that we could never totally roll out, because we got like an A1. Oh, sorry, I messed it up again. But we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 waves in there. Then we got an A, B, C as a flat, an expanding flat running, and then it turned into expanding. For a possible wave down in here. So there's always been that, and it's not really giving any good setups, this pair. We got the 5 up on the H4, we got that WXY, X2, a Z up. I was just looking for a correction in here to give us 3 down. So we get 1, A, B, and then we get a C up. So I was looking for a larger correction in here before I could look for the buy. That didn't happen. We just got this one wave down in here, and then it's gone up and broken the top. I dare say this is like 1, 2, 3, get a bull hidden in here, 5 up, and then you get an A, B, C as your larger running or expanding flat before you get another 5 up to possibly those targets, those daily targets that I'm showing. This 161.8, well, the 123.6 and the 161.8. You know, that's what I mean. This was very difficult because we just got one wave down in here. I was looking at this as correction, and we get another one down like price action is showing. We didn't get that. It shot up. So now what I'd be looking for if I traded this pair, I would be looking for a bull hidden in here. If you get a bull hidden in here, you could look for the WXY, the bull hidden in X2, and then you get that Z up. That's what I'd be looking for this week. For the sell, you really have to break this low for a sell, unless you're scalping on the lower time frames, because if you're selling this at this stage, you're selling into a correction, so this can be quite choppy, you know. Yeah. The Swissy I've pretty much gone over. I'll go over the monthly chart so you can see exactly why I'm buying this at the low. Why I want to buy this. This is a complex correction here. We got 1, 2, 3 up. Then you can either look at this how I've got it labeled here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you could look at it as a flat, as 1, 2, 3. It doesn't really matter. I'm looking at it as a 3, 3, 5. But 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then we can get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly up to that 100 pip. Or it may just be one wave up, or it may be just 3 waves up as a 333, as a 333, 333 complex correction. We don't know. I'm hoping for 5 waves up on the daily time frame, not on this time frame. It'll just be one wave up here on the monthly, but on the daily, I'm looking for 5 waves up. So getting onto the daily, I'll just remove all this from Friday. So the daily, we have this 1, 2, 3 down with the bullish divergence. We got a rather nice impulsive. Well, this is looking rather impulsive now. So on the daily, I'm looking for a correction for more upside for those possible 5 waves. Again, it may be just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It may be just 3, or it may be just one wave. We don't really know at this stage, but really like it to at least come up to, well, first targeting that 50 fib, as shown on my chart. On my chart here, this is the 50 fib here, if you can see that. The H4, I'm pretty much gone over this, but we got a WX. I'm looking for an extended wave Y, and then an X2 and a Z up. The H1, I'm still looking at this as a possible flat. So on the H1, we're getting this extended wave Y or wave 3, whichever way you want to look at it, looking at WXY, X2, and looking for that Z up. So like I've already mentioned, you know, if I get any buy set up on the lower time frames on this during Monday or Tuesday, I'll be looking for the buy. I'm only looking for the buy at this stage. EG on the daily. So this is really, extremely difficult. There was a nice setup on this during the week, but we're looking at that, like flat. Just looking at it like A, B, C, A, B, C. But in this last piece here, it's quite difficult. Looking at like this A, B, C. In here we got like this W, X, Y, X2, and we can get that Z down in here still, down to this 100 pip. The buys are pretty much over. This was the sell I was talking about. There was this sell here. If you got into that, stay in it. Keep your stop above this top here and just ride it down. Very choppy pair. As you can see, this pair is very choppy. So you're going to have to weather the storm and just hold it. The H4, there really isn't much except for what I've got drawn here. We got that nice impulse up, 3 down, breaking the low. So I'm looking at either a complex correction or a running flat or expanding flat. For possible more downside, that's pretty much it. This is very choppy. You can see on the H1, I'm looking for an A, B. This is a very choppy wave C. So, it's not really impulsive. So, I would just be staying out of it. Or if you are in like a trade that there's a trade in there, whether you got taken out of break even or, it's not a nice pair to trade. Not going to make much money out of that pair, I don't believe. The WTI, we got that W, X, Y, X2, Z down, nice impulse up. Now we're starting to get a correction. So what I'll be looking for here is, if I just remove some of this, we got a nice impulse down. This can be a bull hidden on the lower. Maybe I'll go down onto the lower time frame, but I'll be looking for a correction. 3 down. Got an impulse, correction, look for an impulse. So now we're in corrective mode. You can really only sell this. We got the 5 up on the H4. Got that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We were looking for this wave 5. We had the bull hidden and all the rest of it. There was another scalp in here for that. Now it's come impulsively down. So we'll be looking for a B wave. And then a C down. These ones shouldn't be on this time frame. I'll just should have done this before I've done this video, but I didn't. So you can see what I'm looking at on the H1. I'm looking for A, B, and a C down. You can only sell this, but you have to wait for a correction. I'd be waiting for a correction. You want some, like, you can buy on the lower time frames. You can buy if you know that you're buying into a correction, because more than likely this is going to be a correction. It may get to the 50 fib hopefully, and then you can look for a sell. I go over how to trade these, in depth, how to get into these trades. I can't go into it here. you know, for obvious reasons. But yeah, at this stage, you'd be going right down onto the lower time frames, and it's very risky. If you're buying into a correction, so you have to be extremely careful getting it to break even and just holding the choppy waves till it gets to wherever your target is. At this, you can't sell here. You know, there's too much bullish divergence. You can't sell down the bottom here. That's what marketers do. They sell at the bottom, and then they wonder why all their students get, you know, lose their money. But yeah, gold on the daily. This is extremely difficult as well. We got like this has turned very much motive. We got a WX extended wave Y, then I'll be looking for an X2 and a Z down. So this could come quite deep. We got this extended wave WX, Y, X2 and a Z down in here. H4 is pretty much there's not much you can do. You know, if you're going to trade, you're getting in at the top. You're not selling at a low. You know, we're in a downtrend. Selling down here is not ideal. You want to be in on the first trade, and that's what I teach, how to get into these first trades. But really, the H1, this is going to be a larger correction. This was a very small correction in here. Maybe this wave Z's over. We got the bullish divergence, nice impulse up. If you got a bullish setup, you probably could buy this reasonably safe, and it does look like a pretty good trade actually. Looking at this, you'd be waiting for, like many of the others, you'd be waiting for a correction Monday, Tuesday, and seeing what the correction's like. If you get like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in here, you could look for a buy. And at this stage on the M15, you can only buy. And like I said, on the H1, you don't want to be buying down the bottom. Oh, sorry, I said on the H4. You want to be selling at the top of the market and not selling at the low. This is where you get in trouble. But yeah, so there is a nice buy set up on that on the M15 if you wanted to. It's more of a scalp because you're buying into a correction, but you're getting, it'll be a good opportunity to be able to get a trade to break even and ride it out. Silver, we got that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 up, looking for a correction. There is a chance, like I've mentioned sometimes, I've gone over this chart here, I believe, not very often, but on the weekly we got that like W, X, Y, X2, and we can get that Z down. Ideally it goes down, breaks that low, and then we can look for the larger A. We can all jump into buys down around here for a C up, at least a C up, an A, B, C. So there is a chance that this does go down and break that low down here. Sorry, I missed the time frame. You can see that this has actually turned. I've mentioned to stay out of this pair for quite a while because we were just getting impulse, 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 impulse. Now it gave that sell in there for that. So we sort of got like a WX. We're in a wave Y. We don't have any bullish divergence. So more than likely there is more downside to this. We got a WXY. We'll more than likely get an X2 in here and a Z down. This one may not be looking may get a similar setup on this as we got on gold, and it looks like we may do. Again, you'd be going down to the lower time frames. This isn't nowhere near. I wouldn't be trading this one. I'd be trading gold instead. Gold is a lot better, if you can see the difference there. If you can't see the difference there between silver and gold, join my group. Bitcoin. So I'm not going to go over all this again, but we've got a WX, an A, B, C, extended wave C for a expanding flat. I'm looking for this to come down and break this red line here, or get to this target. That's the target, that red line. Like I've mentioned many times, we've got a nice impulse down. I'm waiting for a correction in here to sell. I'm only looking for the sells, unless you're scalping in here. This was quite confusing. Like, we got like 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I'm looking, and then we've got 1, 2, 3 up here. We may get a 4 and a 5 for a complex correction, 3, 3, 5, and then coming down, break the low. Or it's just a 1, 2, 3 as a 3, 3, and we come and break the low. This is where marketers get it wrong. They think these are running flats, or they call them running or expanding flats. Some of them are running and expanding flats. I look at it a lot different. I look at it as Elliott wave does, as a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 complex correction, 4, 5, 3, 3, 5. Sometimes they are running and expanding flats, but when we get the price action like this, they're not running flats, they're complex corrections. Getting over all that. It doesn't matter if you're looking at it as a running flat or a complex correction, expanding flat, as long as you're getting the direction right. If you're getting the direction right, well, it doesn't really matter how you're looking at the correction, as long as you're looking at it as a bearish correction. But we're really getting off topic now. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do get another one up here for like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This may come back down in here before you get that one up there, which is more than likely what it'll do. By the look of the price action, we get 1, 2, 3, and then we get that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then if you get a sell set up, this is going to be your opportunity to get into that possible motive wave. S&P. So this has done exactly what I was looking for it to do. I've had this arrow on here for a long time. I'm looking for a WXY X2, and now we're looking for that Z up. We've just about got the time factor on the X2, so it's just about time to be looking for the buy. We do have the ABC. We're looking for the ABC down. It got to the 100 fib, and now we're getting a bounce off of it. H1, I'm actually in a trade on this as well, because I do trade S&P. This was very messy. It was a very risky trade. I did just put a buy stop just above there. I very rarely do that. But when we had that news and we were getting that spike up, you know, I just thought I'll put a buy stop on there, because I was looking at other pairs as well to trade, so I didn't have much time. So now to get in, I mean, you're in a wave Y. We're already in a wave Y. So like, you get a WX wave Y, you get an X2 and a Z up. You'd really want to wait for a correction before you look for that wave 5 up. Again, you know, this may be an A, B, C as a flat. You have to take this in consideration. If you're buying up the top here, it falls over, and you've just lost a heap of pips. You know, definitely don't want to do that. You want to be waiting for this wave to be over, get your correction, and then look for your buy. Scalping up here is what marketers do. You want a correction on the M15 to buy, because you're looking for 1, 2, 3, at least 3 waves up on the H1 wave Y. So, you wait for this correction on the lower time frame, then you get in. Hope that helps. AU200. This one here still hasn't broken this low. Really like it to break that low for an A, B, C. We're looking for that C up. It may be a contracting flat. Ideally, it does come down and break that low, and it can get down to that 100 fib, obviously, for a regular flat. H4. We don't actually have any bullish divergence on the H4. H1 would have bullish divergence, and we do have bullish divergence on the H1. It's very similar to the others. We sort of got this flat. They all did it before non-farm payroll, sort of WXY. It's actually on the lower time frame. If we go down to M30, we'd be able to see it. No, we can't even see it on the M30. M15, it's very similar to S&P. You'd be waiting. This one here doesn't even look very good. I would actually stay out of this one. S&P looks a lot better, but yeah, I would be concentrating on S&P rather than the AU200. The FTSE, I mean, just looking at it again, very similar structures. But this one here, looking for an A, B, and a C up. We never got that C up. I'd be still only looking for buys in here to buy up to that 100 fib. We get an A, B, C, then we're looking for an A, B, C. What's happening in here? I know last week, well, probably for the last couple of weeks, we've been looking for buys and it's been falling over. You can only buy this though, especially now. We got like 1, 2, 3 up, deep pullback. We have a bull hidden here. This can give you another one up, and trading in here is where you want to get in to get that one. If I go down to the H1, this one doesn't look too bad. I can't go into it too much, but yeah, it looked good on the H4 until I got down to the H1. This can give us another one down in here. Hopefully, if it gives another one down, doesn't go and break that low, so we still have that bull hidden and then takes off. But yeah, at this stage, we have a bear hidden in here, so yeah, you really have to be careful. I mean, you could trade this both ways. I don't really recommend you doing that, but yeah, there's really not much on it. And lastly, the FTSE, the DAX. So we're only looking for sells on this, and we've only been looking for sells for a very long time. We're looking for that. I don't have it on here, but we're looking for an A, B, C, A, B, C. So I'm looking for downside. We've been looking for downside for a very long time with all that bearish divergence. It's finally starting to turn motive by the look of it. So this is looking quite good. We got, if I just zoom out a bit. So we got like a WXY. You're looking for an X2 and a Z down. I might actually put the fib on here and see what's going on, because It's right at the 100 fib. We're getting a bounce off the 100 fib with bullish divergence, so you may even get a buy on this. Not that I would be buying, but you know, we got 3 down. You definitely can buy to go and break the top if that's what you want to do. I don't trade this pair, so I don't really look at it much, except for these weekly outlooks. So very similar to the others, you're getting WXY. If you got a little flat flag in there, a very small flag or correction on the real lower time frames, you could look to scalp this wave Y. Then you'd be looking for the X2 and then a Z up for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you'll have to assess what's going on, whether you get the larger correction and more upside, or whether it gives you a sell setup to go and break the low. So I hope you all enjoyed my weekly outlook. If you did, please hit the like button, share, subscribe. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you out there next week.